Nobody anticipated that level of violence to be shown towards police, or to that level of looting and wanton vandalism and theft that went on during those nights. The Monday night and Tuesday morning we called all resources in from outer boroughs and put everything we could into the capital city. We also cancelled everybody's leave within the Metropolitan Police Force. We put everybody onto 12-hour shifts. Obviously some of them were scared. It was quite a high level of violence that was shown towards them, something that a lot of them hadn't come across before. It's quite terrifying to be in those situations. From Tuesday night onwards, we deployed about 16,000 officers on the streets of London, which is a fantastic achievement, but we just couldn't sustain those kind of numbers. I think it's quite ironic that the same number of police officers the government want to cut are the number that we needed to put on the streets of London. If numbers are to plummet, as this government seems hell-bent on doing, I don't think we could have the surge that we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night last week, and are maintaining again for the coming weekends. We're again deploying massive amounts of officers on the streets of London. There's going to be very little leave for any officers on Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the next 3-4 weekends. It's the peak holiday period. A lot of my colleagues can't now get away on family holidays and stuff like that, but they will do that to police the streets of London and keep Londoners safe. And that's replicated, I'm sure, by a lot of my colleagues around the country. The public have been fantastic and we can't thank them enough. It's the big society that Cameron keeps banging on about, I think actually showed itself on those nights. Public have been very supportive, making officers cups of tea, cakes, things like that. They've really got behind us. We've had scenes of public clapping police cars as they drive past. So a big thank you to the members of the public that have supported us in these difficult times. Following G20, we had a major inquiry into policing public order events, which was adapting to protest. We've adapted to protest, we policed it on that model, and now we've got the Home Secretary saying we're going to get new guidance on how to deal with these demonstrations. I suspect the new guidance will look very much like the old guidance before adapting to protest came in. Theresa May just seems to get our back up because she won't listen to us. We've been policing by the consent of the public for years and years and years. We have experts in all sorts of fields, but she won't listen to what we're telling her, and that's the most frustrating thing. On Tuesday morning, following the scenes in Croydon, Ealing, etc. and across London, she was very quick to say police cuts will still go ahead. This was while buildings were still burning, officers who were injured were still in hospital, and people who had been had to flee their homes hadn't got back into them. And I just think it shows that the Home Secretary hasn't got a personal side. She just treats us as numbers and not as people, and that can't go on, and that's why we don't have any relationship with this Home Secretary. We need support from all the agencies involved in the criminal justice system. In opposition, the Conservative Party was on about building tightened jails and using prison ships when the prison population was so high. Now we have Ken Clarke who wants to release everybody early and give out lesser sentences. We need the Crown Prosecution on our side in reducing bureaucracy and in supporting us to bring the appropriate charges to people who have been arrested and taken through the courts. They need investment. The probation service need investment to deal with people who have then been through the court system and are given probation or similar orders. And the prisons need to be supported as well, because it's joined up. It's like a huge jigsaw. You can't tackle one part of it without having an impact on the rest. The prison numbers are all the time higher and higher and higher. That's because police officers are doing the job and arresting people who have committed crimes. But at some point, that's got to stop, because there won't be anywhere to send these people. Antisocial behaviour orders, a lot of the youngsters of today wear almost as a medal or badge of honour. They don't act as any deterrent. So there needs to be a cultural shift and a cultural change. We've been calling for years now for a Royal Commission into policing to tell us exactly what our role within that criminal justice system is. But that plea has fallen on deaf ears, and I would make that plea again to the government. We need a Royal Commission into policing. The Association of Chief Police Officers, Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabularies, and some politicians are now waking up to the fact that you can't cut police numbers. Just last week we had Boris Johnson, the Mayor of London, going against the Conservative government and saying you can't cut police numbers. Now is not the time for that. The support we've had from the public recently has been fantastic, and I'm just grateful to them for that. What we'd now like them to do is perhaps attend an MP surgery or their local councils, write to their local MP. There's an e-petition online that they can sign up to stop the policing cuts. In Europe, we're at the bottom 3% of the ratio of officers to members of the public. If we get cut further, we'll probably be the lowest in Europe. We've worked hard over years to bring crime down, and crime has been falling. with 16,000 less officers, that trend will change and we will start to see crime rise.